Hello students, welcome to Indian Public School e-learning program. 12th Commerce English Medium, subject Economics, chapter number 10, Industrial Sector. Students, earlier in this chapter we have completed till says special economic zone. Then after last topic it was left to explain, that is importance of small scale industries. Importance of small scale industries. Small scale industries have remained much important and progressive during last 5 decades. 1 decade, that is the time duration of 10 years. 5 decades, that is the time duration of 50 years. Since last 50 years, small scale industries have remained much more important to us. They are very useful for employment generation, production with small scale capital, industrialization in rural area. Production with small scale capital means there is nothing more to invest, and production activity can be done through it easily. Its limit is of near about more than 25 lakh and less than 5 crore, means not more than 5 crore and not less than 25 lakh. That is the limits of small scale industries. In such a low capital, it can give much more production with the employment also reduces the unemployment, regional imbalance, and to have adequate distribution of national income and wealth. Small scale industries are complementing to large scale industries for social and economic development in India. These small scale industries are development of it is necessary for social and economic development in India. Industries which have investment more than 25 lakh but less than 5 crore are known as small scale industries. So generally, this type of industries have labor intensive technique of production, means production activity is being done manually, not mechanically. Even they use less capital in comparison to large scale industries. Even they are very helpful to large scale industries. These small scale industries are very helpful to large scale industries because they produces tools and all for the large scale industries and subordinate goods for the large scale industries. That is why small scale industries are very important. Employment generation in this kind of industries, it is also a positive point for that, means it generates maximum employment because it works on a it works on a labor intensive techniques, not on a mechanism. That is why it is very important. Here this answer can be asked as a 5-mark question. There is importance of small scale industries. At that time you do mention any 8 and explain also any 8. Total near about 10 points are there, and you have to mention 8 and explain any 8. Okay. First point, employment generation. Employment generation. Small scale industries have very high potential of employment generation. Main reason for that is they use labor intensive production technique. In the year 1994, they use labor intensive production technique in the year 1994-95. Small scale industries have generated 191.40 lakh 40 lakh employment opportunity. In the year 1994-95, it generated 191.40 lakh employment opportunity. It rose to 249.33 lakh in the year 2001-2. In the year 2001-2, it rose to 249.33 lakh. Employment opportunities. In the year 2011-12, it rose to 1012.59 lakh. Employment opportunities which thus small scale industries have continuously increased their employment generation capacity, which is the blessings for the nation having overpopulation. India is a country with overpopulation. That is why small scale industries are a kind of blessing for that, because first of all you can see here in 1994-95 it generated 191.40 lakh 40 lakh employment opportunities. In the year 2001-2 it rose to 249.33. In the year 2011-12 it rose to 1012.59 lakh employment opportunities, which shows gradually increasement in the employment opportunity. Day by day, day by day, day by day, it generates more and more employment. Therefore, it is a kind of blessing that unemployment will be reduced and employment will be increased. Therefore, with the increasement of employment, there will be a reduction in the poverty also. Therefore, it is a kind of blessing for the nation. Student, note down these points into your classwork. It is too important. Next, increase in production. Next point, student. Increase in production. Normally, large scale industries produce machinery and small scale industries produce goods necessary in nation. Small scale industries can increase production very sharply. Small scale industries produce necessary goods in nation. Industries produce necessary goods in nation. It increases production very sharply. The produced goods worth 4,22,154 crore in 1994-95. In 1994-95, produced goods worth rupees. It produced goods worth rupees 4,22,154 crore. In 2001 to it produced goods worth rupees 2,82,270 crore. In 2011-12, it produced goods worth rupees 18,34,332 crores. 18,34,332 crores. Students, you can notice here there is a there is a gradual increasement in the production of goods by small scale industries. That is why it is very very important to have a sharp increase in the volume of production. The remarkable feature of this industry is that production carried out by using less capital. In small scale industries, production is carried out by very less amount of capital. Student, notice here there is a gradual increasement in the amount of production and it is done with the less amount of capital with labor intensive production technique. So it is very very important for us. Note down this second point, student, with all the digits. Then after we are going to see that third point, increase in production unit. Write down it. Third point, increase in production unit. Increase in production unit. Small scale industries give different type of benefits, and due to that government and people are keenly interested in it. Keenly means deeply interested in it because it gives a different types of benefit. Rise in production is only possible with rise in production unit. India had 79.60 lakh small scale industrial unit in 1994-95. In 1994-95, India had 79.40 lakh small scale production unit. Which rose to 105.21 lakh in 2001-2. In 2001-2, it rose to 105.21 lakh small scale production unit. In 2011-12, it rose to 447.73 lakh small scale production unit. Student, you can observe here also there is a gradual increasement in the production unit. As much as the increasement in the production unit, there will be a increasement in the production also, and this increasement in the production that shows the development of small scale industries lead India towards industrialization. Okay. Next point, export. Fourth point, exports. In small scale industries have noticeable role in exports of India. Small scale industries of India exported worth rupees 29068 crore in 1994-95. Exported small scale industries of India exported goods worth rupees 29,068 crores next to it, student, which rose to 2001 to 71244 crores. Small scale industries of India exported goods worth rupees 71244 crores. There is gradual increasement in export also, Next to it, in 2011-12. Okay, here it is data given for 6-7. It 6-7 1,77,600 rupees. Seven. Industries of India. Goods worth rupees 1,77,600 rupees. 1,77,600 crores. See, here also it is a noticeable increasement in the amount of export done by small scale industries. So, it generates industries so rising demand in abroad economics. In addition to that, it generates income of foreign exchange, which is very useful to manage imports of required items. It generates income of foreign exchange. It generates income of foreign exchange, which is very useful to manage very useful to manage import of required item. Students, note down this both the points into your classwork. I am waiting here. Okay. Now next point number 5th. Point number fifth, labor intensive production technique. Labor intensive production technique. Production techniques are of two types, capital intensive and labor intensive. Capital intensive production technique has main emphasis on the production with the help of much more investment of capital. Means capital intensive production technique, it is we have to invest more amount of capital and have to emphasis on the production only. On the production only, it utilizes more capital and less labor in the production process and keeps production of a land and entrepreneur unchanged. In contrast to this, the labor intensive production technique produces goods with the help of labor only, with less investment of capital. It utilizes more labor and less capital, and it also keeps proportion of land and entrepreneur is unchanged. Labor intensive production technique are blessings for the nation like India, where availability of labor is excess, as labor intensive production technique has more scope of employment. That is why it is more suitable to our nation. There are mainly two type of production technique, labor intensive and capital intensive. In capital intensive, we have to invest more amount of capital with less labor. Production activities being done and here with less amount of capital and more labor, more amount of production is being done. Therefore, with more amount of labor, if production activity is being done, then it gives more and more employment. It generates more ways of employment, and with the employment generation, it is helpful to reduction in the poverty. Therefore, small scale industries have got very much important. Labor intensive production techniques are blessings for the nations like India, where availability of labor is in excess, because India is a populated country. So here due to overpopulation, labor are available in more amount. Therefore, it is a blessings for us. Saving of foreign exchange. Sixth point. Saving of foreign exchange. Small scale industries are very useful to India. On one hand, they generate export income, and other hand, reduce India's import expenditure by producing many necessary goods locally only. Thus, they help to improve balance of payment. Means foreign exchange, saving in foreign exchange means they increase or generate export income, and on other hand reduces India's import expenditure. Small scale industries generate export income and reduces import by producing necessary balance necessary goods locally. Thus, it is helpful in to improve balance of payment. Okay, now next point, short period of time. Small scale industries can be started within the very short period of time. These industries are very useful due to very short period of time between investment and production. As it can start production in a very short period, it is useful in to overcome scarcity of goods, and because of this only required volume of production can be achieved it helps to nation. With within the short period of time, not we don't have to pass through the long procedure of establishment. Within the short period of time we can start the small scale industries very easily, and within the short period of time we can start that production activity also, and it is very useful to overcome scarcity of goods, and because of this only required volume of production can be achieved by it to help to nation. Short period of time, nothing to write for this point. Can be started within very short period of time. Small scale industries can be started within short period of time with less investment of capital. It can start production in a very short period. It can start production in a very short period of time. It is useful to overcome scarcity of goods. note down this both the points, student, into your classwork. Then after only last 3 points are left, that we will see. Continue, start writing, student. Okay, now next point. Balanced regional development. Eighth point. Balanced regional development. As against the large scale industries, small scale industries can be started with capital, material, and resources in any part of nation. Due to that, benefits of it are restricted in a to a fewer developed areas. It makes a possible balanced regional development. In this way, it is useful to reduce imbalance between rich and poor, developed and developing region. Against the large scale industries, small scale industries can be started with capital, material and resources in any part of the nation. Small scale industries can be started with capital, material and resources in any part of India. Therefore, it is means large scale industries cannot be start with in any part of India. We can start small scale industries with capital, material and resources in any part of India or any part of the nation. Due to that, benefits of it are not restricted to a few developed areas. It makes a possible balanced regional development. It makes to a possible balanced regional development. We can start small scale industries in anywhere and any part of the nation with small amount of capital, material and resources. So it can develop a balanced regional development. In this way, it is useful to reduce imbalance between rich and poor, developed and developing regions. It is useful to reduce imbalance between rich and poor, developed and developing regions, developed and developing regions. Next to it, decentralization. As large scale industries need a large amount of capital. Student, okay, that is possible to write here. Next point, decentralization. As large scale industries need a large amount of capital, it can be started by a very limited part of the society of rich people, and due to that it can be said that it does the centralization of capital. Centralization of capital means wealth wealthy people making investment in it, and rich becomes richer and poor becomes poorer. Like that type of position is being created due to large scale industries. And small scale industries very less amount of capital. It can be started by even small size producers and have benefit of it. Small scale industries utilizes different resources, dormant and passive equipment of and resources to which increase volume of total production. Even these resources which are not used to generate employment and get income to distribute benefits of production equally is called decentralization in true sense. Next to it, high rate of development. Before that, we have to write for this decentralization. Small scale industries can be started with less amount of capital can be started with very less amount of capital and it can be started by even small sized producers and have benefits of it. Started with small size producers and can have benefit of it. Therefore, small scale industries utilizes different resources. Therefore, these resources which are not used to generate employment and get income to distribute benefits of production equally is called decentralization in true sense. Okay, note down this both the point. Then after last point it is left. Okay, now last point. 10th point, it is high rate of development. High rate of development. Large scale industries need large profit as large amount of capital are invested in it. They develop economy with irregular rate by doing large investment because they cannot get change as per the changes of the market, where small industries can set up with small amount of capital. Therefore, on one side a large number of producer increases, and with the increasement in the production also may be varied, and volume of production also can be increased with the increasement of income. On the other side, it brings changes in the production as market changes, as it is require shorter generation period. Thus, small scale industries are give very high rate of development, which is highly required to develop nation. Means it gives a amount of production, very high amount of production. Different small scale producers increases. With the increasement in the producers, there will be a gradual increasement in the production also, and variety of production can increase the income also. Therefore, it gives the high rate of development. There is nothing to write for this point, as you can write it by your own. Student, note down this all the 10 points into your classwork, which shows importance of small scale industries. Any 8 you have to mention, and any 8 points you have to explain. That is for 5-mark question. Okay. Here we have completed chapter number 10.